times. Loading.
It says to me we're streaming.
Not yet. Well, let me check actually.
Um,
All right, and there we go. Go for it.
Woo! Hey. Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Too Funny Feedback Mike. My name is Lisa and co-hosting the show with me tonight, as always, is Becca. Tonight, each of our comedians will be performing a 5-minute set. Please use the clock for keeping track of your set time. After your set, Becca and I will be giving about 5 minutes of feedback before moving on to the next comedian. While we invite discussion during your allotted time, we are consistently booked for the show. So if we don't have time to address your concerns, follow us up via email or on Facebook, and we'd be happy to go into more depth. To our audience, keep in mind as we get started that our intention is to help facilitate the growth of the comedians who come to us with varying levels of experience. Also, comedy is subjective, so you may not agree with us, and that is okay. We are also learning on how to give good feedback. Additionally, if you enjoyed the show and want to support the stream, please consider making a donation while watching at districtcomedy.io or following the District Comedy platforms. The link to all of that can be found in the episode description. Now that I'm done reading all that, let's get this party started. So we're going to go to our first comedian of the evening. Let me see. I want to make sure, I got everybody in here. All right. So since the set list is, we're waiting on a couple comedians, we're going to go with, and I'm going to say, is it Carmia or Carmia? Oh, wait, Carmia. Okay. All right. I got it right. My instincts were right. It's good to see you again. So please welcome our first comedian of the evening, Kamira. I said it wrong. Kamira.
Woo!
Thank you. People are always messing up my name because Carmia isn't a name. It's actually a lead-in to the question, what? I have 5 kids and Carmia is a Hebrew name, which means doesn't know when to stop. When I told my husband I was pregnant with our 4th, he said, some women will do anything for a minivan. We got a customized Honda Odyssey, YOLO edition. You only live once. I pimped that thing out. I paid for tinted windows and neon fender lights, an acrylic partition between me and the kids, like a New York cab. And then there's a portal to another place where there are no children. I did my own work on it too, and I added symmetrical dents. I call it the mothership. Cooking for my large family is a lot of work. Most nights I make an entree, a salad, and a side of kid complaining. Sometimes I catch them marching around the kitchen in protest. What do we want? Waffles! When do we want them? Now! I try cookbooks for more variety, but I'm too busy to follow the instructions, like marinate overnight. After putting 5 kids to bed, I'm not tucking in no chicken. If a recipe said broil salmon that you forgot to buy, I could do that. I tried serving a vegetable platter and I made it sound all French and fancy. Crudité, coup d'etat. It's hard to please everyone. The only thing all 7 of us like is pasta with meat sauce. Going on day 27 of pasta with meat sauce. But it has to be the right kind of pasta. Rotini incites rebellion. What do we want? Macaroni! When do we want it now? On any given night, one child is eating meat sauce with his hands. And another is licking the table. And another is standing on a chair singing. Naked. It's like the dining room in a psych ward. Or a dinner theater at a strip club. Get your penis off the table. Immediately after I serve dinner, their bartering begins. Can I trade you for hamburgers? If you do my chores. Can I trade you for hamburger buns? For your continuous affection. I don't know. Sometimes it's more like an auction. The next item up is French fries. The bidding starts at 1 pickle. 1 pickle do I hear? 2. 2 pickles do I hear? 3. 3 pickles sold to the toddler with the ketchup stains. In the middle of the table is the crown glory of parenting solutions. Not sure if you've heard of this. It's the no thank you plate. Instead of complaining about what's on their plate, they just put it on the no thank you plate and anyone else can have it. Asparagus? No thank you. Raisins and things? No thank you. Everything I make. By the time dinner is over, there's a complete meal on that thing. Especially if you like half-chewed green beans and fish bones. Their complaining isn't personal, it's tradition. When the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years, they ate only one food, manna. If you don't know what manna is, it was like a combo of seed and sap, like honey bunches of oats. There's a collection of Jewish stories called Midrash, aka ancient fan fiction. And the Midrash says that manna tasted like anything you wanted. That's miraculous. And you know what the people said? Back in Egypt, we had meat and fruit. Are you serious? God gave you Birdie Bot's every flavor beans. And still, what do we want? Slavery! They didn't wander the desert looking for Israel for 40 years. Israel's right next door. They were looking for a takeout place they could all agree on. I'll wrap up with this one. My kids asked my husband and I to give them food from our plates, and I don't understand why, because they have the same thing on theirs. Hubby gladly forks over, and I think that's nice. Suck up. I'm a little different. Mama, can I have yours? Because it tastes better. Mine tastes like resentment. Thank you. That's my time.
Woo! Hey, everybody give it up for Carmia. Yes, thank you. I'll jump in there if that's cool, Rebecca. And then
Let's go.
All right. That was so much fun. Thank you for my even botched intro. I love that you have that joke in your pocket so that you can, because I am someone whose name is often misspelled also, or mispronounced. And so I appreciate that, and also makes me feel sad that I did that. So I apologize. And I'm glad to see you back. So there's so much about this that I love. And as a fellow mom of just one, there's so many things that just wheelhouse that I love. But a lot of it is your delivery. And I feel like from the last few times that you were on here, I feel like you've just nailed things and made them really succinct and specific and small, but they have a good impact, really good impact. So I love the whole name thing, going right into there, the whole minivan thing. There's so much fun. Just the way you have that sort of delivery, it's dry, but you give us the time to be with you and catch up and have the joke with you and have that laugh. I think you have good timing. I love the whole crudité, the lean in. I love the nice lean in for what was it? Nice quick. I'm tucking no chicken, or there was a different one after that. You do like a quick lean in, and that is really effective. I think that's one of your shoots, and I know we've talked about that before. The crudité is really fun. The day 27. I'm wondering if you want to do you can be counted. You can go with that. So funny. I loved this, and I was thinking about this, how you did the whole protest. And by the second one, because you did, we want waffles. And then the next one was, I forget what the second one is, but I wrote rule of 3. I said, I hope you do a rule of 3 and bring it back and something off the wall. And you did with the slavery. And I loved that. So thank you. Because I was like, oh, I hope she does rule of 3. And it's something somewhere, and you did. And I really appreciated the construct and how you did that. When you said, going back to the kids and the dinner, which was a great bit, I think. And that I really enjoyed the naked, how you said naked, you gave that moment, because that's the trail, and that's the thing that flips it on its end. Mm-hmm. And the dinner theater and a strip club, that was great. Those lines of things of doing that. But I saw in a lot of nice construct. I just thought the nice back and forth was really simple and very effective. And the one thing I would say when you talk to your husband and you call them suck up, I would even be you could do to us, it's a joke, because you don't be he's, that horse sort of thing, because that back and forth is usually that sort of thing. So I would give it a difference and like be like, he's that way. You can even cover your hands. So he's still in the room in the scenario, but you're sort of an in-joke with us. Does that make sense? I would suggest. What is it? Oh, the auction thing. So you had a lot of good fun things. The auction, I would even say till the end, sold, because your energy sort of dropped at the end of that line. So, sold to the kid with the ketchup, the ketchup stain, like really like hit that. You have the great rhythm, you had it all, just your volume went down at the end. And I want you to be like, because they'll be like, sold, there's that really high energy with that. I also love the plate, like the no thank you plate. So you said if you like fishbone and you said half eaten green beans and fish bones, you could also do a rule of 3 there if you wanted. But and I really enjoyed the honey bunches of oats. I loved how you explained things that we may not, culturally know about, like the manna and all that stuff, but you did it in a way that was really efficient and communicated well and had a lot of punchlines within it. So I think there was a really, really strong set. You really honed in all the movement and kept the story going. So thank you, really. So I look forward to hearing all the other things about that. Your 5 kids have provided a lot of comedy. So that's good. Another positive.
Thank you.
Awesome. So this is my first time seeing you perform, and this has been such a treat. Oh my goodness. So I have never seen that many jokes like crammed into a 5-minute set of just I'm really, really impressed, where it's just like it's just minimal setup and then punchline. It's really, really impressive. And I'm kind of like, there's a part of me that feels like because Lisa pronounced your name wrong, we unlocked this secret level of all these extra jokes. So I think it's a happy accident, and thank you, Lisa, because I've pronounced your name wrong before. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, here's what I wrote down. When you say that, like, you compared your van of like, you got this like acrylic divider between your kids, like a New York cab, I thought like that could actually be a fun way to explore a bunch of parallels that you could pull. Like, what are things that people do in New York cabs that you could do with your kids, where they like come in and they're acting like they're wasted, they vomit in the back seat. And you have to like charge them, except for like, or like if there's something there about like, how like cabs have this like reputation for taking the longest way to get the biggest like income or something, or like your kids never tip you or pay fully or whatever. I don't know. But just, I think that there's an opportunity there to explore.
Sorry, I'm talking to another person who's.
No, you're good. Do you need a second?
2 minutes. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. So I love that Lisa also mentioned like what do you want? Waffles, when do you want it now? And I agree. I love that it happened 3 times. I think because we know the phrase, what do we want this thing? When do we want it now? I think that when you say, when do we want it? That offers an opportunity to get insanely specific with your kids of like, what do we want? Waffles. When do we want it? In 5 minutes, because I got to go potty first. Or like come up with like a new, very specific child time sensitive thing. So like because it is a punchline, have it land in a place that we aren't familiar with. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then so like the big thing like that I look for when I like hear people's like sets and everything is just like moments where you can get super specific and that can offer an extra chuckle. And so when you were talking about, oh my gosh, when you were talking about like what your kitchen like looked like a strip club because your kid was like up on a chair singing naked, like I said, like what song is the kid singing? Are they singing a song that they wrote about the neighbor's dog or something like that, where you just like say it and you're just like, they do this thing all the time, they're singing Baby Shark for the millionth time, but like as you do this lead up, really paint a very specific picture. And I think that your jokes are awesome, but maybe like go through and just see like what more, like how specific can I paint these images that I have. But all in all, like very, very impressive. And it was a joy to see you perform.
Thank you. Can you ladies live with me, please?
Absolutely.
A minivan sounds awesome. So yes. Everyone give it up for Carmia. Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you. All right. So I don't know if you guys saw in the chat, I have the set list. So we have our next comedian. She's back for more. We're grateful for that. We have Amira Abu Al-Assad. Yes, give it up.
Woo, 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 woo.
Hey, how is everyone?
Good.
Woo, great.
I don't care. This is about me. So I went out with this vegan guy. Well, I had a date scheduled for it, and then he canceled on me through my sister. And I'm like, oh, so vegans don't want to hurt animals, but they have no problem hurting me. And actually, so since he canceled through my sister, I was like, oh, he was like wearing these pink sneakers and like a really like hot pink light up sneakers. And I was like, oh, you know what? I think he's doing that to match his personality. Just being a little bitch. I don't know. I just really mad at him. I don't know why, but like, okay. So I'm really single, and I'm having trouble like finding a good Muslim guy. And so I've learned I'm just gonna trick men. So like the idea is like we have to pray 5 times a day as Muslims. So I'm just gonna tell him like, hey, this is a new kind of yoga. And so you just do like mantras instead of chapters from the Quran, and you're like facing Mecca, but it's not prayer at all. And you're just doing child's pose and chair pose, but not prayer, just to make sure. I don't know. I could have delivered that better, but so my sister was like, hey, do you want to go to the gym with me? And I'm like, yeah, of course. She's like, but we're on a mission to find a man, so get your war paint on and your uniform. Got it. I wasn't born yesterday. I already slept in it. This is how we go. I was asking my sister, like, do you do that thing where like you're plucking your eyebrows, and because we're like really hairy as Arabs, so you go like, oh, does he love me? Does he love me not? Like when you're plucking. She's like, no, that's weird. I'm like, yeah, no, me neither. I heard you're supposed to put yourself out there to find, you know, a man or even friends or whatever. But I have really bad social anxiety and agoraphobia. So I just want to keep myself in there, if that's okay, and still find people. So scary outside, right? There was this guy, he asked me out, like, he was just like, oh, do you want to go out in an hour? And I was like, what, you just want me to drop what I'm doing? Like, I don't have anything better to do. I mean, technically I wasn't doing anything the whole day, but like, I don't know. I think I read it in this book that, again, you're supposed to trick men into marrying you. You're supposed to like pretend you're busy for 3 days and then be like, sure, I'll hang out with you, you know, like, so they value you. You have to trick them. I was looking through my Spotify playlist, and I was just noticing like all 31 playlists are all just sad songs, even my workout songs, like just fast-paced sad songs. My sister's like, no, there's one that's not sad. I'm like, nope, that's a commercial. So my mom wanted someone to cut her hair, like one of us, not like a salon. And so I don't know why, but I went to beauty school, so I kind of know, well, I'm a beauty school dropout, but I still know how to better than my sister. And my dad's like, don't ask Amira. She worries too much about how you would look and about messing up. Ask Yasmin. She doesn't give a shit. So she's like this 50-year-old with a bowl cut now. Yeah, so let's see, what else do I have? Oh, so my dad recently traveled to Jordan, and he was supposed to come back in a month, but the airline said they don't have any bookings for a month, and he has to stay an extra month. So now officially American Airlines is my favorite airline. So when I was younger, my dad told me if you whistle, it brings the devil. And I'm like, I think you're right, because every time I'm whistling, you're right next to me. He told me actually, like, if you forget to say Bismillah, then the devil eats with you. So I just never say Bismillah for the company. All right, I get my gigs like I get my men when someone can't come, and everyone leaves satisfied. All right, I'm gonna stop there.
All right. Woo,
Woo,
give
woo,
it up
woo, woo.
for Amira. Yes. Ooh, great job. Go ahead, Rebecca.
All right. Oh, Amira, what a treat always. I loved some of this new material today. I loved the vegan joke of like, so he's okay not hurting like animals or anything, but he's totally fine hurting me. Cool. That was amazing. I have, with Lisa's permission, I do have one performance recommendation for you. I've heard you give this delivery so many times, and it's brilliant. This opening joke that you have of like, I don't care, it's about me.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times that I've seen you give it, you kind of like laugh and take the power away of it. And I would love to see you just like declare it. And then you can do the laugh of like, I'm just joking, but like declare it. And just so that it can really like land. And then you can do like go back into who you actually this like endearing part that you had, that you bring to your performance. But I just think that it could help it. It's already very strong, but I think it could just help it soar a little bit more. I loved your like, my new technique, I'm just gonna trick men now. I wrote down, it's gonna be like Punk'd, but instead of Ashton Kutcher coming out, it's me in a wedding dress. And I thought that would be like a fun area. Like, you don't have to do that line, but I think that it would be fun just to like, it's a fun statement to say, I'm just going to trick men now. And if you could do a line that kind of fit that formula of like, what's something where we trick someone, but instead it's going to be you showing up with some sort of element of commitment for this man. I would love to kind of like see what your brain comes up with if you wanted to explore that. When you say that, like someone who was like, hey, are you free in an hour? And you were like, you're just going to expect that I don't have anything going on. I thought if you could maybe rephrase or restructure that punchline of, instead of saying this like vague, I don't have anything going on, I mean, I don't, but you're like, you just expect me to drop my knitting and drinking my 5th glass of orange juice, or like whatever weird mundane activity that you would do.
My 7 Zooms a night or something.
Yeah. You expect me to drop my 7th Zoom call in the last hour? Yeah, something like that. Absolutely, whatever would fit for you. But I think that it would also give like a fun, like an acting moment of just like saying it straight to the guy, and kind of like a change of tone a little bit. Another thing of just like painting a specific image is I love your joke about your dad of like, yeah, the devil does show up every time that I whistle, because you show up right next to me. And then like, if you could say yelling at me for this, and then like find some really funny way to describe whistling of like yelling at me for doing this activity that in the 1950s like was like considered like a very wholesome pastime. What I'm saying is not funny, but like if you could find some like very innocent way to describe whistling in a very specific way. Am I making sense with that? If I'm not, completely ignore it.
Like, you whistle when you're happy, so why would it bring the devil? Like, I don't know.
Right. But just like, so it's like, yeah, like the devil shows up because every time I do, you're next to me, Dad, yelling at me about this really simple thing. Just like, so you had to like, you just show up, but it would be cool if you kind of continued that punchline of describing that whistling is, why would whistling bring the devil?
Like maybe it's his energy bringing the devil, not my whistling.
Sure. Yeah. So like an extra element to explore in that joke. But that's what I have written down. I really like this new material. That vegan joke is great. I'm gonna tell my fiance that one. He's gonna love it.
Oh, he's vegan.
No, he's not. But he's just like, we're planning our wedding right now. We're like, all right, who's vegan? And it's just it's a process. I like the joke though.
But yeah, no, really good stuff. Love you. I still love that opening. No, how are y'all doing? And like, I think because you play with it, and I've seen it a few times, but you're like, oh, that's great. You can be like, that's awesome for you. And then do that whole, I really support what Rebecca says, like, then drop it and be like, but that sort of deadpan, it's all about me, and kind of land it. And then you can be your charming self and like, ha ha ha. No, not really. That's not who I am. But I loved the vegan thing. That was fantastic. I really think, and this is something to, just because you guys were talking about at the end, the whistling, could you just whistle? I know you've done musical stuff with the drum and stuff. Would it be like, you can be like, oh, hey, dad. Like, oh, he's always there. Like, or something like, with some reason devil, like something like that. I don't know if that's something, that's a way to maybe demonstrate, if that's a stronger way to do it. I'm not sure, or if you're describing it, but maybe whistling that happy tune or thinking about that, that's something you can explore also. But yeah, no, that's great. But that just made me think of it because you have sung like, songs in the past above the drum. So I know that's something like, I feel like that would be in your wheelhouse to do. I think that when you, I know there was that one part where you got like the response was, and you said, oh, I could have delivered that better, that kind of thing. You have that great thing, but funnier. Remember you said that line, you have a great way of, even if the joke doesn't land the way you think, or, goes off a little bit, you always have a really good way of recouping and getting back to the moment. And that's a funny thing. If you start, especially with Becca's like note about saying it's all about me, you can be like, it doesn't matter if you laugh, it's all about me anyway. You could reference that joke back there. It's another way to tie that in and go back in and, bring that back. But you're so easy to like and really charming that I don't like, even if when you make those jokes, if you make them, I'm like, I know it's a joke. Like you're putting that on, that comes through in all your comedy. I do really like all the stuff that we heard tonight. So much of this was newer and it was just really fun. I love the whole tricking. Like I said, if you tricking men, and I was gonna go there. I loved, I want to keep myself in there, but find people. I thought that was awesome. And just a way, like you have a really good way of turn a phrase of just taking something and sort of turning it inside out and making that really funny and how we look at it. And you say it's really scary out there. And if that's an opportunity, not that we all want to think about what's going on outside, but it's been a scary year or two. And you can be like the last year or 20, like for you can make a reference and then make it more specific. I just think you had a really, really good energy and delivery time. And what was I saying? I'm realizing this too. I apologize. I have to read my own writing. This is challenging. But I feel like you did a really good job with all the new stuff. And I like that at the end of the time, you still were like, okay, what else do I have? That you just went for it. And you have, like I said, you have this great way of in the moment stringing it in and bringing it back. And I say, keep using that and doing that if things don't land the way you want. And I just like that you're really spontaneous and willing to take risks in that way. I find that adding those last few minutes and being like, and that you have a good way of construct of following and building on the set. So that's really what I have. Except for specifically, and this is more of a writing thing too, is the playlist. I love the fast-paced sad songs. Could you give us an example of like a title of or like a title or the commercial? That's a commercial for this or that's that, and that's another opportunity to have like just one of your talents of expanding. If you sing or if you don't sing, you do a great job with varying that and adding those elements into your set.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really fun.
Woo! Great job.
Everybody give it up to Mira. All right, great job. Woohoo! Good, great night of comedy tonight. So I'm making sure I'm reading my list. We have our Canadian guest this evening will be
Canadian ambassador. Our
Canadian ambassador from Toronto. We love her. We know her. We're so happy she's back. Desiree Walsh.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here because yes, I am Canadian, and guess what? Missouri's not doing very well with the COVID, so it's a humble brag again. Woo! That like a worldwide pandemic would become a competition. Yeah. So some fun facts about me. I am low-key addicted to psychics. I have to work very hard not to give them all of my money. Yeah. I'm highly suggestible. There's a place in Toronto where I'm from called Dundas Square. It's basically a poor man's Times Square because Toronto thinks it's New York. We most definitely are not New York, 100%. But Times Square and Dundas Square are similar in that we also have those Disney characters that will take a picture with you and then mug you. Yeah. There's also like religious recruiters, a guy that bangs on a bucket. That's pretty cool. And then there's like cult recruiters as well and psychics. I have to stay out of there because I will join a cult because they have cool purple robes, free pizza, and Lisa Frank stickers. Those are hard to come by. It's worth it. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you are familiar with the Dr. Phil. Yep. Specifically the episodes where a woman has given all of her money to an internet boyfriend. Yep. The only difference between me and those women is it hasn't happened yet. That's the only difference. I did go to a psychic once. Well, more than once, but we only have 5 minutes. And I asked her who I was going to marry because, quite frankly, I just can't put the work in. And she told me it was a man that I work with that I talk to every day who's just a little bit younger than me. And she said, "Is there someone like that?" And I said, "Yes, but he's gay." And she kind of gave me a look like, "That's what you think." And I gave her a look like, "No, I have seen him full on kiss a man at Pride in a rainbow t-shirt. I am right." And then she responded with, "Oh." And I said, "Yes." And I said, "So who am I going to marry?" And she said, "Well, not him, someone else." So it's like, thanks, Captain Obvious. That really narrows it down. Someone else. I have had my tarot cards read by a few comedians I know that do it in Canada. But I feel like it wasn't so much of a tarot card reading as an opportunity to say passive aggressive things to Desiree that you haven't been able to say. Because she flipped the tarot card over and I was like, "Oh, what's that one? It looks pretty." And she said, "It means stop driving 45 minutes to hick towns to do open mics where you're going to get stabbed." That seems oddly specific for a tarot card. This is a special deck. And she was like, "No, I just call them as I see them." And then she flipped another card over. And I said, "Oh, what's that one mean?" And she said, "Clean your room. It's disgusting." And then we flipped an again oddly specific, but then she flipped another card over and I was like, "What does that mean?" Very hopeful. And she responded with, "Stop spending your money on psychics. They're not real." Thank you. That's my time.
Woo! Everybody give it up, Desiree. Woo! Very good. That was fun. Thank you. I guess go alternating, right? So that was just so much fun. I really enjoyed that. Again, like the new stuff and the old stuff, you have a great seamless of just bringing them together. Stuff that I've heard before always sounds new. It is really fun. I love that the worldwide pandemic. Yeah, that was funny. And then fun facts. I like how you brought in, like, you just went like, "Fun facts about me." I like that intro, and you just, that fun, sweet, just kind energy, because you are Canadian. But no, but that you just are so much fun. And I feel like that always is, no matter what you're saying to me, I'm like, this is awesome. So I loved, you talked about the New York City. We believe that, we're New York, but we're not. It made me think of, and I'm going into a little bit of writing territory, so Rebecca, so forgive me.
You're good to go. Go.
They're Big Apple, like they're the Big Apple and we're the Big what? Like you can because that's what you can give a comparison like that. So, and then I liked the then they mug you kind of thing too. That was funny when you go through that. Thank you. You did the Lisa Frank sticker. I believe we talked about that from here. And I was like, oh, she did it. And I love what you added. Like, they're really hard to come by. So, because that is one of your biggest strengths, I said, is you're always so present that no matter how many times this material has lived with you, that it always feels like it's the first time you're saying it to us, and that you allow changes in it. You know it so well that anything spontaneous just erupts from you, and it works so well. So I don't know if that was but they're really hard because we were like, oh, laughing, like, no, wait, like they are hard to come by. So like that makes sense. I like how you delivered, the Dr. Phil, giving it, and I liked how you put that. And I feel like you got really more efficient on that joke and explaining it. I feel like both those jokes, especially about Dundas Square and that one, you found like you've edited them a bit, and they work. They really do. I feel, and you found a rhythm with them, and I liked how you put them together tonight. And I just loved all the little add-ins. I think that's just really one of your strengths. And even the psychic one about the gay coworker that she predicts is your husband, I feel like that was the strongest I've heard it, because you're like, well, not him, like how you hit not him.
Yeah.
I thought that really was, I feel like that was the to me, it landed the best out of all the times I've heard you say. And it's still funny, but that it was significant to me how it landed. I loved the tarot cards, the rule of three. I loved how you said they do it in Canada. You're like, my friends who do it in Canada. I'm like, compared to where else would you not do it? Like that, they just brought up, but I was like, they do it in Canada. I'm like, are they like forbidden to do it anywhere else? Or like, is there something special? Because you have this great way of saying the joke and then inserting another thing, sort of in a different energy, in a different tone. That's how I feel with a lot of it, when it's that spontaneous thing. And so I say, always always doing more of that. Like that's something that you have this really strong structure. You work these jokes really well, and your energy, as long as you're having fun. And it brings me back to performance, where like when you're doing a comedy in a show, like they say, are you having fun on stage? Because we'll have fun if you're having fun on stage. And to me, I feel like that is a really strong note for you, because I feel like that's true for you. You're always having fun, so we're always having fun.
Yeah.
So thank you. I really just thought all of that was excellent. Thanks, Desiree.
No problem.
Oh my gosh. Always a joy. I love it so much. I've heard some like some stuff that you've brought back, a little bit of like a sprinkle of new stuff. Love the Lisa Frank stickers. I don't even know, like Times Square has never given me a Lisa Frank sticker. I don't even know the correlation, but I just there was a tickle of a laugh there, and I love that so much. So what I wrote down, I love that, like when you did your humble brag opening, and Missouri's really fucking up again.
I'm excited.
Yeah, thank God, right? But when you were like, only we would make like a pandemic a competition, a suggestion that I had might make that, like, the leading up to the competition punchline a little bit stronger, is like saying, like, I wrote down, you'd think a pandemic would bring the world together, us coming together to fight the same thing, but no, we made it a competition, just to kind of like show the contrast of what you would expect we would do versus then the punchline that you have of calling it a competition. Just an idea. You don't like do with that what you will.
Okay.
Something that I just like mumbled when you said the Lisa Frank sticker thing. I'm like, it's not 1995 anymore, ladies. Those are hard to come by, because you go into the it's hard to come by. That's what I wrote down. It was just like something that popped into my brain. I loved when you were like with the psychic, you're like, I gotta ask, who am I gonna marry? Because honestly, I can't be bothered with the work. And I wrote down, like, I was wondering if you could just like say, like, a psychic is a cheat sheet for life. of just like, I can't be bothered. I don't want to study for this husband test. I'm just going to like write it. Like my psychic is just my little piece of paper that has all the answers. I'm just going to bring it in, slip it into my desk. And I'm just going to kind of like, I don't know if there was like a correlation of just like cheating of like, I can't be bothered. If there was like a world of like studying and like pulling or doing a test and cheating on a test and like pulling parallels between there, if you wanted to explore, that popped into my brain.
I don't know if this would work, but for roughly the same amount of money, you could go speed dating.
And you're like, no, I can't talk to that many people. I love that. I absolutely love that. Definitely. I would love to see that baked into a set of yours. The only other thing that I have written I loved like your passive aggressive tarot card reading. I was like wondering if just like if you're like as your friend is describing these different cards, if you want to be like, all right, this is the worst game of solitaire I have ever played. But also like when you say like she flips over another card, I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to pull the contrast of like she flips the card over. It's a beautiful woman. She's in a toga. She's pouring something out of a vase. And I'm like, oh, what does that one mean? And she says, it says stop going to terrible open mics where you're gonna get stabbed. And like describing these different because you know like they're all like very beautiful and mystical and stuff. So just yeah, so Tom says, I love the husband test. Yes. But yeah, those are what I wrote down. I loved this set today. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yes, everybody give it up for Desiree. Yes.
Oh.
Awesome. And I always love seeing the Uncrustables behind you. It's how I first met you.
I had to force myself not to look at the filling. It's so gross.
They really are yucky.
They're not appetizing food. But for our final comedian of the night, we're so excited to have her part of Too Funny Feedback tonight. Well, welcome, Catherine Shea. Yay!
I'm so glad to be here. This is an awesome place. I'm Catherine Shea. I'm from a long line of moms, and I'm a good mom. I've got a teenager, 2 dogs, and I once got stuck in an elevator with Florence Henderson, the Brady Bunch mom. America's favorite TV mom taught me everything about life, and that's why my friends are always coming to me for advice. They want to know why I'm so lucky in love. Luck has nothing to do with it. It's math. They say a woman my age is more likely to get hit by lightning than meet a man. But I did the math. And if I get hit by lightning, I'm guaranteed to meet a man. My friend worries that I won't survive the lightning strike. Who do you think you are? Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman and I do have a lot in common. She dates a World War II fighter pilot named Steve. I've dated guys named Steve. Some people get upset when a relationship is over, but not me. I get excited because I get to fall in love again and again and again. That's why I decided to never get married. I like falling in love. I had some good offers, like the one guy who got down on one knee, asked me to be part of his fellowship, and handed me a copy of Lord of the Rings. The one that got away. And people think it's hard dating as a single parent, but it's not hard if you know how to multitask. Last night, my teenager and I are out for dinner, and the waiter says, I'm Rob Pattinson. I'll be taking care of you tonight. Ooh, I know you will. Have a seat. But I did the math, and Rob is finally old enough for me to have feelings for him without it being creepy. But I don't want a younger man, for the same reason people don't get a Jack Russell Terrier. Entertaining, but too much work. When I was younger, I kept up with my boyfriends. I skied the mountains. I ran the marathons. I said I liked Lord of the Rings. But now I prefer an older man, a man who's been kicked to the curb by at least 3 different women and barely has any fight left in him. Married friends, because I have had been so successful in all my relationships, my married friends are always asking me for advice. One friend calls me very upset. She and her husband were driving home from the movies, and he says that after 30 years of marriage, he wants a divorce. What do I do? I said, don't get upset, get excited, fall in love again, and get better at picking movies.
Uh,
I live in Boulder, Colorado, and parenting in Boulder is very wholesome. Parents want their kids to do wholesome things. In art class, my child made me a beautiful organic pasta necklace. I know it was organic because I ate it. One day I'm at work and I get a call from school because my 11-year-old forgot her lunch. Miss Shea, namaste. Your child needs her midday meal. Please bring her bento box. I don't have a bento box, so I suggest the cafeteria. Miss Shea, every child in Boulder must have her own homemade organic meal in a bento box. She's got a few quarters in the backpack. Send her to the vending machine. There are no vending machines in Boulder. They don't properly store raw goat milk. Gonna have to skip a meal. Miss Shea, right now, the entire 5th grade class and their parents are holding a candlelight vigil in the cafeteria for your child's bento box. What am I supposed to do? Check with the art teacher. She's got some delicious organic pasta.
Nice.
My kid is a teenager now, and raising a teenager is hard because they think they can do everything better than you can. My child thinks she can give herself a better name. I spent a lot of time picking that name, and she can't just give it away like some old toy, so I take it back. And you can now call me Princess Leia. Last night, my teenager was driving us home, and she says, Mom, when I move out, what are you going to do? She can't think my whole world revolves around her. But on the other hand, I'm glad she has no idea that on the day she moves out, I'm off for a week at Club Med with my new boyfriend, Rob Pattinson. I'm Catherine Shea. Thank you for having me.
All right. Catherine Shea. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. All right, Rebecca, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Catherine, this is my first time seeing your work. This was a lot of fun. I love you were like a champion of like recycling and bringing back a joke with the macaroni necklace and with Robert Pattinson. Like, it was really, really fun. I saw an opportunity for an extra like mini, like a sub laugh, if you will, when you said that he wanted you to join your fellowship and he got down with a Lord of the Rings, and like he got down on one knee and you could say like, but no diamond rings. Lord of the Rings, and he was supposed to propose with the ring. Something, so there's a correlation there that I would love for you to kind of like explore, because I would hate to see it sit on the table. I love your joke of like, I can't date younger men for the same reason why I don't get a Jack Russell Terrier. I have a Wheaton Terrier, and I felt that in my soul. But I think instead of like you said like a Jack Russell Terrier, and then you just fully explain because I don't have the time and the energy or whatever or what you said, and I'm sorry, like I wish sometimes I wish I had the text right in front of me, but I'm wondering, instead of like fully explaining the joke, you could actually just say, I don't date younger men for the same reason why I don't want a Jack Russell Terrier who's been running around in the same circle for 18 minutes and will not listen to me. You could explain it that way with that correlation. And then, oh gosh, I had one other idea and it has left my brain. What was you said, you know what? If I remember it, I will chime back in. I didn't write it down because I was so engrossed. And I apologize. I really hope that I remember it. But Lisa, do you want to take over? And then I'm going to rack my brain for that floating note in my brain.
It'll come back. All right. Yeah, no. I thank you for coming on to Funny Feedback. This was fun. I loved this. I think that overall I loved all the like references and going back. I call those buttons, and those recurring things. It was awesome. So I'm gonna more focus on like a little bit of the performance stuff, which was a lot of fun. But I feel like there was moments of like we call like a bit leaning in or going a little bit further in the commitment of just like creating those characters and those moments. So one of the first things I really like the Wonder Woman, like, what are you, Wonder Woman? And I would love to see like the light bulb go off like you are right then and there. Like it's coming to you then, because it's fun when it's very present. You'll be like, yes, you can even be like, yes, I am. Like, I've done this, like it's like that list thing, and I've done this. And like, so that it makes it more, we're with you. It's happening in that same moment. So that in that rhythm and that build, I think might just elevate that joke just a little. But it was fun. I loved it. I dated men named Steve. It was great. There was one joke also in your delivery that I think you have so many good jokes in there, but I got a little bit buried. It was like, that's why I want to fall in love again. That's why I decided to never get married. We missed it. It didn't get its full weight, I felt like, or moment. I caught that, but then it went right into the other one. So letting that land. And like when you have all these great characters, you have like your friend calling you on the phone, you have Rob Patterson, you have Miss Shea. And I would say this more than anyone with the Miss Shea, she's a yoga teacher. This is a really fun opportunity to change up the energy. So you can be like, because what a yoga teacher is, you're talking about wholesome. It's like, she can have like, it could be breath. The whole energy can be coming down. And like, it's fun because she starts to get frustrated. And it's when you see those calm people getting mad, like you can have them and that breathiness. No, like, it gives it, so it's going to give you some dynamic to that and sort of change up the energy and creating in that back and forth. So that's what I would say. I would say have some fun if that's something. And I feel like you have like that comfortability with it. And it seems like you have a really good, I just feel with your material that playing with that type of character of like, how would Miss Shea talk? Because the first beginning, like that or whatever. So whatever that means, because everyone knows that yoga teacher, right? And you're talking about that organic and like, yes. So, and then it could even be funny if you've built this very sort of centered person. And then when they go off center in it, and then like the vigil is happening. And, but I really liked the organic macaroni thing at the end, like go to the art room. And I could even put like when you ate because I ate it, which was really fun. And you gave that its moment, and you can be like little gummy, you can make it like a funny comment about eating it or something like that, or, if you wanted, but that was funny in how you brought it back in. I liked how at the end too, you said, I'm Catherine O'Shea, like you really, Catherine Shea. I had an O. I don't know why. I'm usually have John O'Keefe. So I'm trying to add an O, I guess, in our set. But that nice button of like, I'm done. I liked how you like were even with a little bit more time left, and you were like, that's it. And you sort of let it on that high energy that made us like, woo, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have. So thank you so much.
Awesome notes. Thank you very much, both of you.
I remember real quick. I remember what I was gonna say. If you wanted like 2 more quick notes.
Hell yeah.
Not notes, but suggestions, ideas. I love I did the math. And it happened twice. And I think that we gave this suggestion to Kermia of just like with a, what do you want? What do you want now? But if the I did the math appeared 3 times somewhere in your set, and maybe it has nothing to do with math, but you're like, I did the math.
Yes.
Me and Rob Pattinson are gonna bang. Something like that. And then the being in the elevator with the Brady Bunch mom, the ultimate, I was wondering, and like, this might not be your vibe at all, but like, if you could like paint this wild, out of body experience of being in the elevator with America's ultimate mom, and then your friends ask for mom advice, and you're like, well, Brady Bunch mom, BBM said to me that for the 30 seconds we were in the elevator, that when you forget your child's bento box, I don't know, but just like, it was such a unique, specific moment that I would be interested to see, like, if you explored it and cracked that world open a little bit more.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Great job. This was a great show.
Thank you. It was so much fun. And we actually ended on time. A little bit early. It's happened in a very, very long time. So woohoo us on top of that. So let me get back to our group. So a big thank you to my co-host Becca. Big thank you to the comedians for being so open to the feedback, and of course to our awesome audience and we doubled it, people. 2. Thank you,
Woo!
audience. Woohoo, our friends, yes. Okay, so yeah, if you want to support the stream, you could also do that at districtcomedy.io, or as I will do is try to do what Tom does, District Comedy. So, thank you, Tom. And if you want to be on the show, you can sign up using that same link. See you next week and have a great night.
Woo, 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 woo!
Woo.